Alright, on to the stuff that looks crazy complicated, but you guys have done a super job with this. So I'm really looking forward to seeing your answers on these questions. So I'm going to write up here ax squared plus bx plus c. It's not there, but you know that's what these need to be in, and as you can see, these last two are not. So we need to make sure these are in the correct order. They are. If they are, go ahead and take a, b, and c in this first blank. A is -2, b is 4, c is 30. So we're going to use this to find the discriminant. We're going to put our blanks here. I'm going to fill these in. First one is for b, which is 4. Second one is for a, which is -2. And the third one is for c, which is 30. I'm going to plug these into my calculator exactly the way they're shown. So 4 squared minus 4 times -2 times 30 gives me 256, a large number, but we have calculators, so it's not a big deal. What's important is that it's positive, which means we have two real solutions. So we're going to plug that in here and see what happens. X equals negative something plus or minus the square root of what we're going to plug in over 2 times something else. So first blank is for b. B is still 4. Second blank is for d, which is 256. Third blank is for a, which is -2. Now 256 has a square root. Okay, so you need to make sure you check those. Second square root 256 is 16. So we're going to simplify this one piece at a time. Remember, x equals negative times 4 is -4 plus or minus square root of 256 was 16, and then 2 times -2 was -4. So remember, we're going to do this twice. One with -4 plus 16 over -4, and one with -4 minus 16 over -4. -4 plus 16 is 12. Divided by -4 is -3. -4 minus 16 is -20 over -4 equals 5. My solutions are 3 and 5. Okay. Next question. Now this one is not in standard form because we have equals 5x. We need to move that by subtracting 5x from both sides. It's going to squeeze in between the 7x squared and the -12 over here. It's going to give me 7x squared minus 5x minus 12 equals 0. Then we can go and find our a, b, and c. A is 7, b is -5, and c is -12. We're going to plug those numbers in. So first letter is b, it's -5. Second one is a, which is 7, and then we have -12. We're going to plug those into the calculator. Let's see, -5 squared minus 4 times 7 times -12 gives me 361. Ooh, we're getting lucky today. So D is 361, a number that looks crazy, but it does have a square root. And this is going to be another one with a positive solution, or with two solutions. So x equals -b plus or minus the square root of whatever over 2 times a. B, -5. D is 361. And then a is 7. So we're going to simplify. -5 gives me a +5. Plus or minus the square root of 361, which is 19, a whole number. And 2 times 7 is 14. So we're going to do this, 5 plus 19 over 14, and then 5 minus 19 over 14. We're going to check our answers in the calculator here, just this part, because we can probably reduce some fractions as we go along. 5 plus 19 is 24 over 14. That can be reduced. They're both even numbers at least. So we're going to go and put it in the calculator as 24 over 14. Press enter, and it tells me that is 12 sevenths. 12 sevenths. Okay, that's my first solution. 5 minus 19 is -14. Negative 14 over positive 14 is negative 1. That's my other solution. And we're done there. Okay. Moving on to the last, there's one more here. So we have x squared plus 36 equals negative 12x. Similar issue here. We need to move that negative 12x, so there's a 0 there. So we're going to add 12x to both sides. And that's going to squeeze in between these two numbers here. So it becomes x squared plus 12x plus 36 equals 0. So we're going to find our A, B, and C. A is 1, B is 12, C is 36. So we're going to plug those numbers into our discriminant. B is 12, A is 1, and C is 36. So let's put those numbers in. And we get 0. Our discriminant is 0. When our discriminant is 0, it means we have one solution. One solution means we still have to do all this, but it's going to simplify itself a little bit. So x equals negative b plus or minus the square root of d over 2 times a. B is 12, d is 0, and a is 1. Now the thing to remember here is that adding or subtracting 0 or the square root of 0 doesn't change an equation at all. So we can ignore that and move on to the next step just by simplifying what's left over. Negative 12 over 2. Negative 12, 2 times 1 is 2. Only one solution. Negative 12 divided by 2 equals 6. Or sorry, negative 6. And that's my final solution there. So let's move on to 10 through 12, last three. We're solving these using quadratics. Using the square root method, which is because there's no b, there's no middle term here, and we have some quantity squared stuff. So remember, the first thing you want to do is get x squared by itself. So I need to start by adding 144 to both sides of this equation, which gives me 4x squared equals 144. X squared is still not by itself, so I need to divide by 4 on both sides. Okay. Gives me x squared equals, let's see, 144 divided by 4 is 36. Once I've got x squared isolated, I'm going to take the square root of both sides. Square root of x squared is just x. Square root of 36 is plus or minus 6. Don't forget that that's two numbers. So this is my solution, 6 and negative 6. Okay. On to number 11. Same idea. We need to get that 24 over there, so we're going to subtract 24 from both sides, which gives me 6x squared equals negative 24. Still need to get x squared by itself, so we're going to divide by 6. This becomes x squared. Negative 24 divided by 6 is negative 4. Now we're at the point where we can take the square root, and we can't take the square root of a negative number, so this would be no real solution. You must write this part in order to get the answer correct. You can't just show me this, you have to show you know that means that there's no solution. On to the last problem. We have 3 times x minus 3 squared, sort of wrote that, sorry, equals 75. We need to get the quantity squared by itself, which means this 3 has to go. So we're going to divide both sides by 3, which will give me just x minus 3 squared equals 75 divided by 3 is 25. Now I take the square root of each side. This square root cancels that square, leaves me with x minus 3. Square root of 25 is plus or minus 5. This is where we have to do two problems. One where x minus 3 equals positive 5, and another where x minus 3 equals negative 5. The solution process is the same for both, though. We're going to add 3 to both sides. So this cancels. X equals 5 plus 3, which is 8. This cancels. X equals negative 5 plus 3, which is negative 2. And we are finished in a little under 20 minutes. You will take longer than that, so don't be ashamed if you do. You're going to do just fine on this. You guys have done a great job this last week, and I hope we keep it up for a while, but I'm stoked to see how well you guys do on this one. Alright, see you tomorrow.